Hi, and welcome back to the outside of my head.
What the was that?
That was weird. Whatever. Hi, and welcome back to the inside of my head, where in this video, I'm going to share some of my theories,
tiny little brain theories straight from my brain,
for Pacific Rim the Black, Season 2. Now, Pacific Rim the Black is an awesome little series. If you haven't checked it out yet, what are you waiting for? Get to it! Now, these here videos are pure, unadulterated speculation, just for a little bit of a laugh. But if by some mad fluke I do happen to get something right, it could end up spoiling something for you. So if you're the type of person who wants to watch Season 2 completely spoiler-free, this may not be the video for you. I really don't want to spoil anything for you guys, even by accident, so please proceed at your own discretion. But if you're still here, pick up your nutsacks, grab your fanny flaps, and whatever else it is you got going on down there, and let's dive right in!
Oh, my spine and skull hurt.
So, just briefly, Season 1 saw a huge number of breaches open over the Australian continent, forcing the PPDC to fall back to the coastal cities. Fall back! And initiating the Black, the complete shutdown of their communications network, and the destruction of any assets that may fall into enemy hands.
The satellite array.
They've initiated the Black.
Which means we're on our own.
Haley and Taylor set off into the Black to find their missing parents in a training Jaeger called Atlas Destroyer. A name which is kind of ironic because she doesn't have any weapons! And find a mysterious boy in an underground laboratory. He has super strength and some kind of connection with this, a biomech that isn't on the side of the precursors nor on the side of the humans. Season 1 ends with Haley and Taylor finding their parents' Jaeger, but not their parents, and Boy turning into this, before being hailed as the Kaiju Messiah by the mysterious mask-wearing sisters. More on them later. So let's theorize, shall we? Oh yes, theorize away, my boy! Oh, I told you they'd be back. So overall, the main storyline is the kids' search for their parents, and I reckon it will probably continue down this path for a while, but soon develop into something else. And my best bet would be that they have to somehow reinstate the communications network that was scuppered at the start of Season 1. But let's stick a pin in that for now and take a look at my first theory. And that is the return of Herc Hansen.
Who the hell be Herc Hansen?
Oh, who the hell are you? Get out of here! I've been on new meds and that's been keeping them at bay and stopping them from popping up every 5 minutes and ruining all the videos. But I think the effects are wearing off. Anyway, Season 1 of Pacific Rim the Black opened with this. Jaeger strike a berserker going head to head with an acid quill before stabbing it through the head and being pinned to the ground by it. Then we fade to black and never see it again, bar a brief flashback later. We know that this is a key moment because it's the moment right before the initiation of the Black, and Striker Berserker is piloted solo by Herc Hansen, the father of Chuck Hansen, who sacrificed himself in Striker Eureka with Stacker Pentecost at the end of the original movie. Remember that?
It was a pleasure, sir.
I love how Stacker Pentecost is just like, yep, no, the honor was all mine. No, it was a pleasure working with you too. Nothing, just...
It was a pleasure, sir.
Now this guy's a pretty important one in this universe, even though we haven't actually seen all that much of him, with him having the longest service record in the PPDC and being its most experienced pilot. We know that as well as losing his son, he also lost his wife in the seizure attack in 2014, and that he and his brother Scott Hansen are among the first generation of Rangers trained to fight the Kaiju. They're assigned to Jaeger Lucky 7, which killed 7 Kaiju but also saw the brothers Herc and Scott fall out and part ways. Notably, he also piloted every mark of Jaeger ever produced. So with this scene at the start, and the flashback later actually, finishing open-ended, plus us getting a glimpse of a record labeling him as MIA and not KIA, the door is wide open for Herc to return. On one hand, we might just be presented with a bunch more flashbacks, but that would be kind of boring, wouldn't it? Could he show up and help the kids find their parents? Could he play a part in re-establishing the comms network to help the PPDC get back into the fight? I mean, because he disabled it, if anyone knows how to re-establish it, it'll be him. Could his long history finally come to a close when he sacrifices himself to help the family escape? Or maybe it ties in with my next theory. So what do we know about the Sisters of the Kaiju? Well, we know that they're an order of all-female kaiju worshippers who believe that the kaiju are dark angels enacting the vengeance of the gods upon the sins of mankind for their perceived transgressions. Loonies! They sound like utter loonies. The first hint of their existence is in Uprising, I believe it is, where a news bulletin shows a group of people protesting in favor of the kaiju. What are they thinking? They be thinking you best get a real job. I'm unemployable, you know that! Then in Aftermath, we see that they have a temple in the Yamarashi skull, Yamarashi being the first kaiju killed by Gypsy Danger. And bizarrely, they have these ninja warriors that go in to get shit done. Like when they found out that Hannibal Chow had succeeded in reverse engineering a kaiju, they went in to try and kill it, believing it to be an abomination, but the kaiju kills them and escapes. Now, I suspect that over the events of the movies and the novels, the sisters have been growing in power and influence, and now that the PPDC has lost control altogether, it's very possible for them to step into the power vacuum and try to take control. We see in Aftermath about how they take advantage of lost and lonely and desperate people. And in a post-apocalyptic world like the Black, there's going to be a lot of them for them to swell their ranks with and grow their following. Speaking of growing your following, there's a subscribe button there. Could you mind just, you know what to do. Yeah, go on, hit it. Go on, do it, yeah. So in the Black, we know that they're buying up kaiju eggs. What for? Well, we all know that they can't eat them, so maybe they just need them to adorn their shrines, or perhaps they are breeding their own kaijus. After all, they are accompanied by these domesticated Rippers, and as far as I'm aware, the Rippers' origins are still unclear. So could they be breeding the Rippers? Are they trying to breed something bigger? But most importantly, we know that they've been waiting for a kaiju messiah and believe it to be Boy. So I wonder if they will kidnap Boy at the first opportunity and take him back to their temple. Taylor and Haley might follow them, only to find that the sisters are about to make 3 sacrifices to their gods. Haley and Taylor's parents, and the sisters' most hated of enemies, Herc Hansen. Remember that killing Herc is a pretty big score for them considering his track record. But I also wonder if the sisters' final motive might come to light too. What if they're trying to open their own breach to let even more kaijus in and lay the groundwork for a full precursor invasion? Oh, wait a second! Maybe it'll turn out that they've already pulled some voodoo jiggery-pokery bullshit and they're the ones to blame for the increase in number of breaches. Or not, I don't know. What if they've got some harebrained scheme to metamorphosize themselves into precursors? They're crazy enough, right? Kind of in the same way that crazy cat lady tried to metamorphosize. Kind of in the same way that crazy cat lady tried to turn herself into a cat. But whatever it is, let's tie it in with my next theory. So what do we know about Boy? Haley and Taylor found him in the basement of a recruitment center of the PPDC, and the 2 siblings speculate that the precursors have made him perhaps as an infiltration unit of some kind. None of this is set in stone, however, and whilst it probably will turn out to be the case, I wonder if the opposite could be also true. If he had been made by the PPDC to be sent through a breach and give the precursors a taste of their own medicine. Boy established a bond with the Kaiju Jaeger hybrid known as Apex, when Apex is rampaging through the city and picks up on his presence and manages to establish a drift with the boy. He can also turn into this, who manages to hold his own against Category 4 Copperhead for a very short time before being thrown to the ground and buried. So how he was found and how he ended up in this here tank is still a mystery, but obviously Boy is going to become a key figure in this story. It's a safe bet that he will get more powerful as he continues to grow and gain more experience.
It's over 9,000! What, 9,000?
And we might not have seen all of his abilities yet. Is this his final form? Probably not. So tying in with my theory about him being kidnapped by the sisters, I have a feeling that they will all be saved by Apex, who, like this reverse-engineered kaiju, will be treated as an abomination by the sisters and killed. How? Not sure. He seems pretty tough, but I think the death of Apex could prompt Boy to assume his next form, and possibly the most powerful kaiju seen to date. Anyway, let's move on to another big character from Season 1. The trade in illegal Jaeger parts is rife, as seen not only in Season 1, but also in Uprising and Aftermath. In Uprising, it's mentioned that there's illegal Jaeger fights.
Plenty of nutcases out here trying to slap together their own Jaegers.
And in Aftermath, it's members of the mob who are squabbling it out for Jaeger supremacy. He seems to want his own Jaeger more than anything. So this theory gives him his wish. I'm pretty sure that one way or another this guy will be back, sporting his own Jaeger, and as I said in a previous video, probably some horrific junkyard beast cobbled together from rusty and scavenged parts of dead Jaegers. I think he might perhaps tie in with the quest to re-establish the global communications network. After all, if the PPDC managed to regain control of the continent, Shane would have to go back to the criminal underworld, or wherever it was that he came from. But what if Shane finds some kind of buried treasure trove of Jaeger parts, like an old abandoned Jaeger factory? What if this new bounty gives him more than just one Jaeger? What if he has his own division of evil Jaegers? And that could be an interesting twist, no? With Boy as a kaiju having to defend humanity from their own creations? I don't know. Food for thought, I guess. Anyway, guys, those are just a few theories off the top of my head. Most of them will probably be utter nonsense, because honestly, there's a million ways it could possibly go. So after this, we're going to run through the graphic novels. We're going to do Tales from Year Zero, we're going to do Tales from the Drift, we're going to do Aftermath, and possibly even Amara. And then I'm going to cap it all off with my Season 2 Theories Part 2, where I've got some theories about Loa, about May, and what's happening in the rest of the world while all this shit is happening in Australia. So make sure you hit the like button if you want to see more theories, and make sure you get in the comments and let me know what your theories are. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Feel free to get out of my head, and I will see you very soon for the next one. Thanks very much. Cheerio, bye!